So last time we talked was during COVID, I think.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, right at the beginning.
Yeah.
And,
Great. That was a scary time.
Yeah. We were discussing what we touched on a lot of stuff. I think one of the things we were talking about is the changes that were newer at the time to the requirements at the competition that in the smooth,
Yeah.
in the syllabus, you have to dance. Is it first four? But tell me the rule. The rule.
I mean, I think it's pretty standardized. There's a lot to it, but the main premise, and one of the premises that I still contend against and I don't agree with, is that we are required to start all syllabus events, closed bronze, closed silver, closed gold, in closed dance position for the first 4 bars. And I just fundamentally don't like the fact that if some random human poked their head into the ballroom during American Smooth Day and they just witnessed the first 4 bars, it would be an international standard competition. And if they looked away, there would be no difference. I don't love that. I think I'm totally fine with restrictions.
That's why
I'm fine with like having a limited amount of bars that have to be in closed dance position. I just don't understand why we hold on to this fact that they have to start there.
Do you really not? I mean, you must have some idea of why they might have done this.
I just sincerely don't see, and I haven't had anyone explain to me the value add of that specific decision. I just don't see a value add.
The only, and I know way less about this than you, but the only seemingly potentially relevant postulation was that it's easier to judge.
I mean, to that, I say like, these are expert judges. If I start and I do a natural turn in closed dance position, or if I do a natural turn in shadow position, you could still hopefully be an expert and judge that. And I think that the thing that I contend with is just the simple difference of the styles. Like my students, the ones that want to compete in the smooth division, didn't sign up for the international standard division. And I do think that just starting there or being forced to start there is something that I still don't enjoy. But I do it, and I don't want to rock the boat. And I do think that the people that are making these decisions are doing it very, very thoughtfully.
Yeah.
And I respect them, and I'm on board 100%. And I still just will forever contend against that piece of it.
One thing you're missing when you're in closed position, obviously, is something like arm styling.
Yeah, it's.
So then I have a question as a non-smooth dancer, like how to know which arm styling should win.
Yeah,
like the arm styling goes up, the arm styling goes down. Which one is the right one? Is this really spelled out?
Yeah,
and are we? Is that obviously smooth has the potential to err into the land of the subjective.
Sure.
In a real way.
Sure.
So in the syllabus where I think generally teachers, try and create some kind of grounding. We're starting here and then we're building up to something more.
Yes.
With more artistic license later on, right?
Yeah.
But you're going to need these fundamentals because they matter.
Yes.
So then, but with something like, let's say, arm styling.
Yeah.
How do you know? Like, what do you pick?
Sure. And I think that's probably the fundamental difference between like international standard and my view of American smooth is there's this sort of codified ideal dance position and a codified ideal promenade position. And I mean, I guess there's some debatability there. And I think that the freedom of, hey, I want to do my arm through a base position out through second and roll that palm up, and someone else is maybe going up with it, it's more open to what I want to say as an artist or what might be the strength of that particular student. And I think that I have students that are way short. I have students that have some disabilities. And I quite frankly have the desire to strategically give my human a competitive advantage with their strongest position at the very beginning of their dance to get noticed. And the fact that I'm restricted into this one hold means I don't get to have access to all of the different potential paints that I always have had access to even in syllabus level smooth. And I don't think that goes in the spirit of the American smooth. I want to have the whole paint palette. I do think we should start with the basics first. I do think that international standard is the foundation of American smooth, and I'm fine with it being 50% of the whole routine. Even more, I don't really care about that part of it. I just want to be able to have the freedom as a choreographer to select the movement that I think is actually best for this person. And it's often not that closed dance position. And I just don't like that the comparison of the first 4 bars of our style is an international standard position movement competition.
So when you say, like, once you say the strongest position for the student or the
Yeah.
strongest shape, right? You're sneaking in your sort of ideal
Yeah.
as an instructor, or as a lover of movement.
Yeah.
Let's say in the art side of what we do, about what is good, right? So it starts with your idea of what would be best,
Yes.
in your opinion,
Yes.
and you're working backward from that.
For sure. Like, let me give you a weird example. Let's imagine, and this is theoretical. I have a student, and God forbid something like this should happen, but she has a terrible burn on the, let's say, left side of her face, a burn victim, and this is not her best side, right? And when she's in close hold, right in front of the judging panel, she can either, bam, close position, here's this side of my face, or her favorite side of her face, the other side perhaps, that would be revealed in a different position. And for that first photograph, I want to be able to make those type of strategic decisions. That's a very strong example, but you could make that layer of analysis on all different things, like a student with a great right arm, a stronger lowering action, a better height. There's like so many cool and strategic advantages that I like to conceptualize when I'm creating choreography. And I literally just feel like I'm in a straight jacket, forcing everyone for the first 4 bars, and then I play that game after those 4 bars. And I hope that eventually falls away. I think it will.
If I could push back,
please.
And I think, I'm not sure, maybe you're a fan of the sort of setup where all the judges are on one side of the floor, but I sort of like the idea that they're spread out.
Yes, fair.
So, if you're optimizing for angles,
sure,
you've got one on one side that sees the good angle, someone on the other side sees the not so good angle. So
fair.
You almost can't. Right?
Fair.
Certainly, if it's one side, you can show everyone the good side. Yeah. So
that's a fair point.
So I'm wondering if that's even achievable in a totality anyway.
Yeah, I mean, and I was using kind of a silly example with the side of the face thing, but if you visualize it as, let's say, shadow position versus close hold, like back of the dress, gorgeous. Let's start in close hold. Ooh, I don't like the back of this dress. Let's start in shadow position to highlight the front of this dress.
Sure. Okay.
And it is, you're right, the audience and the judges are spread around the whole floor.
Right.
But I can still place my starting square on that chessboard of a dance floor where I want to place it. And I think about that stuff. And I think about, where should I start this dance? Think about the dress, the front of the dress, the back of the dress, the angles. And I just want to have the entire arsenal of options when I make those decisions. And I feel restricted.
So would you say that, as someone who, I would say is in the upper echelon of teachers, certainly in the pro-am right now, would you say that it seems to me from talking to people and in my own experience too, that what a good teacher, instructor, coach is, one of the big contributions is the clarity of the final potential for that student. Number one, right? Like, you at your best could look like this, and that's clear in your head, right? And you can see that body, morphed into that. And then the second thing from there would be your ability to reverse engineer from that, or back to where they are now, in a cohesive manner, step by step. And then if the image that you thought of is good, as let's say democratically agreed to by the panel or many panels, let's say over the course of a year. So if that image was good, and then your ability to connect the dots between, how to get, person from A to that final picture is also good. That's most of it. I mean, in a nutshell, right?
Sure,
Like
yeah.
something like
I
that.
love how you articulated
Would you
that.
agree that that's a
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I like the way you articulated that.